Hello.
Brought to you by this wine. It isn't sponsored or supporting us in any way, but we're about to pour it and drink it. Talk to you guys about this video we have here. A night without type 1, I'll call it maybe.
Even though it's never a night without type 1.
Exactly.
It's just Israel's at his own loss.
It's a pretty hefty glass.
You can switch.
Y'all
those.
mind your business,
I'm not
though.
gonna drink all that. You can switch.
Y'all mind your business.
But yeah, but it's never a night without type 1. Just a little splash more. Because luckily we're still able to see his numbers when he's connected to Wi-Fi.
That wasn't supposed to take that long.
But yeah, and even though it's like we're kind of sleeping through the night, we're not really because well, he is. I don't sleep through Israel's alarms.
Is that a shot?
No, it's just the truth.
I'm a heavy sleeper. Basha's a light sleeper. And
also, I just have to be, as a type 1 mom, I have to make sure I wake up to low alarms. Even if it's a compression low, I have to get up and prick him because I want to make sure he's okay and not actually super low.
yes.
So
Disclaimer, I'm not just avoiding my son's health.
Yeah,
but
no.
yes,
yeah,
that is
I'll
true.
like shake him if need be, but it's really hard for me to have nights away from Israel as a type 1 diabetic because I get super nervous if he's low and then I can't get a hold of wherever he's staying. So tonight he's at Oma's, which is Kendrick's mom and dad's, and well, Oma, Teepaw, and then all the aunties and uncle. So I get super nervous because if I can't reach them, then I'm freaking out because I'm like, okay, well, his low needs to be treated.
The irony of a night without type 1 is it's never a night without it. And
it's never any time without it. It's literally 24/7. And we always have to be on it, which is, we don't care that we always have to be on it because that is our baby. We will do anything for him. So, yeah.
Since he was diagnosed, it's been like something that starts and never stops. Obviously, it's a chronic disease, a chronic illness that, as of right now, can't be reversed or fixed. And there's definitely a huge misconception, and I definitely thought that we should just shoot a video and kind of talk further about it because an extra long week with it kind of has some things pop up at Israel's school. His numbers are never straight. His numbers will never be straight, just like our numbers are never straight. We definitely got to continue to educate because even before Israel was diagnosed, my little brother had type 1 or has type 1 diagnosed with it at 13. And it's one of those things where like you make life adjustments, but obviously it's not going to hit you until it's super close to home. And with Israel obviously having it and being a toddler or getting diagnosed at 1, it's been something we've had to be the primary caretakers of versus like when my brother was diagnosed at 13, he was just taught the ropes of how to manage it. So it is a lot of misconceptions. People ask questions that can be somewhat irritating, but it's like no question's a dumb question because you need to learn, especially if you're going to watch our child or be around us or be involved with our child. And yeah, like I was saying, like the straight line remark, people don't understand that fully, so they try to figure out how they can get it perfect, and they can't. And that's kind of some things we ran into this week, which was a little bit stressful.
The mama bear came out to me. I'm always going to advocate for my child. Do not play with me. Do not play with me. And I love Israel School. They are very supportive. They take great care of our child while he is in their hands. Let's not get it twisted. But like Kendrick said, some people just don't. Unless you got a child with type 1, you don't get it. Unless you have type 1 or you're a caregiver of a type 1 child, let alone toddler. He was diagnosed at 16 months old. So it's like, you can't really explain it until you deal with it. And we are always going to advocate for our child. We are always going to make sure he has the best care, best resources.
What is the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes? Because somebody on here probably doesn't know.
Yeah, type 1 diabetes has nothing to do with diet. Let's get that straight. I said this in a video before, and I need y'all to understand that because some people don't. And I get emotional talking about it because honestly, like, again, going back to everything that happened with his school, I had to address it. And when my man comes home feeling some type of way because of how something was addressed and it's about our child, I'm not playing. So I'm going to address it. And so I sent an email. It was very respectful, but I needed to address it at that time. And I did that. And then we ended up having a meeting when we went into the school. He had a day off, and then the next day we went to school and we addressed it. We had a great meeting. Everything was handled. Sometimes that just needs to happen. Sometimes you need to readdress things. Sometimes you need to just talk about things again, just so people can understand, whether that's them getting more training or just getting more understanding of what type 1 diabetes is. But type 1 diabetes has nothing to do with diet, and it's when your pancreas literally stops working. It can happen to anyone. Speaking of, he is having a low blood sugar right now. Let's check what that is. He's at 96 down sideways, which is not low. That is fine, but we have it alert us just in case it starts dropping super quick. But he had a stubborn high earlier, so you're gonna see a little like arrow up right there, but it's fine.
We love his school and we love the people at his school.
Yes.
The people that are involved in his school have created systems for Israel that, you know, a lot of people probably wouldn't even take the time of day to do.
We created systems and put it in place for them.
Exactly, but they're doing their best to follow them, and they're adding, you know, they're just been extremely helpful and grateful, and we're super grateful of them.
We love them so much.
But again, back to what even created, you know, the idea to do this video is the fact that, you know, for us, it may come because we live this day to day. It's easy for, you know, us to kind of get triggered by certain things, I guess, or, you know, as you could probably see in our faces, we're just tired sometimes because it's literally nonstop. But
is okay.
Yeah, which is okay, exactly. But, you know, we need to do a better job everywhere throughout the world explaining what this is and just bringing awareness to it, just like many of the diseases that we probably are unaware of and don't know about. You know, the more we can educate, reach one, teach one. You know, it's just we want everyone in our network to know and feel comfortable about what it is, so that way we don't have to re-explain certain things, you know, multiple times. It's fine to re-explain it, but we just want people, especially with our son, you know, it takes a village to raise a child, and we want to make sure our village knows obviously how serious the disease is, because obviously if his needs aren't met, you know, it's as serious as life or death. Your pancreas not producing insulin, if you have a working pancreas, you go day by day without noticing it. But if your pancreas is not working and not producing insulin, your blood sugars must be controlled and monitored 24/7, as she's saying. So
it's just all about, like you said, teaching, advocating. Like, we don't play about our baby, okay? And it's really helpful. Like, he's at his parents right now, and with that, it gives us a lot of peace of mind because his brother is there and because he's so familiar and he understands it himself. We don't understand it because our bodies don't go through it. Like, we can't get the full understanding, but because our child goes through it, we get that understanding. Obviously, T understands it because he goes through it. And so Israel having him is like, we are so grateful. And when he's there, it is like a huge peace of mind because we know that T knows how to handle any situation, highs, lows, like what he needs when he's low, pricking him, things like that, changing his sights, his Dexcom, his Omnipod. Usually we have to teach people how to do that, but with T, it's nice because we don't have to do that because he gets it.
God is the greatest because, you know, my brother got diagnosed years ago. He's 18 now. Um, he was diagnosed at 13, so this is his 5th year living with it, going on 6 years. And of course, no idea that I would one day have a son as early as I did to have one that would be diagnosed with type 1. And just having him there is huge. And, to my son, I can't even express, one day if you even watch this when you're older, because I'm so proud of how you operate and handle it at such an early age, even though you're not maybe fully aware of what's going on. But, you literally are the strongest little kid out there because you deal with stuff that no human should have to deal with, and you just deal with it day by day, and you're happy and you run around resilient and strong. So, and there's so many other kids out there like that, and now we're trying to advocate on a platform for the type 1 community. Again, we just want to spread awareness.
We know, we've learned, we've lived this for 2 years now. May 11th is when you were diagnosed, 2022.
Oh, this is kind of like, we do CPR training in school, and you learn how to do CPR. With the type 1 diabetic, you should learn, certain things to look for. So, Israel wears a device called an Omnipod and a Dexcom, and he always has those 2 devices on somewhere on his body. They can be changed. They call it site changes. It could be on his arms, his legs, his stomach. But as a toddler, there's only certain places we've been able to put it without him ripping it off, knocking it off, or just unintentionally getting it pulled or strained at. So if you see those devices on Israel, one reads his blood sugar, one is a constant insulin giver, or we have to manually give him insulin every single time he eats. So it gives him insulin like throughout the day, a certain amount, but we also need to give him a certain amount per what he eats. We have the carb count, know how many carbs he's going in to give him an insulin for it. When we eat as non-type 1 diabetics, our pancreas already does that, but with him, he needs that insulin given to him, so we do that through his device. It's called an Omnipod. So those are 2 devices that we'll always have. Other people use pumps. There's different series of the Dexcom. There's always evolutionary technology that will continue to come out. Pens. If someone's having an extreme low and they're a type 1, or they're shaking, or they're tired, or they're falling asleep, passing out unexpectedly, they probably need like glucagon, which is going to give them the sugar that they need to bring their blood sugar back up in a fast amount of time.
So we would have to put in his leg, which praise God we haven't had to use, and we're not going to, because we know when to treat a low. Like I was saying, he's at 94 sideways. When he was a baby, like when he was first diagnosed, if he was below 90, we would treat it with some type of carb, because he was a baby, especially if he was asleep. But now we just obviously keep an eye on if he's under 90. If need be, we'll give him a little. If he's dropping double, which means he's dropping quickly. If he's dropping down sideways, that means he's dropping a little slower. And if he's dropping straight down, he's dropping, but not like too quick. Depending on then 5 minutes later is when it refreshes on our Dexcom app, and we see how quick it's dropping. So if it goes from 90 to 80, we'll treat it with some carbs, and hopefully it'll level it out. And we keep a very close eye, and we keep our alarms on so it alerts us when he is dropping. We already have those embedded in our heads. Type 1 parents and type 1s, that you just have that in your brain, so you hear it. Like I wake up naturally very quickly when I hear an alarm. High alarm, we know to give him insulin. We give him corrections. We have to give him corrections when it comes to if he's high. Back when he was diagnosed, I was home with him. Kendrick was working, and Israel had just gotten sick, and he was throwing up, and I was just like, this isn't a bug. I just had a mama feeling. I was just like, this is not a bug. Like, what is going on?
He was throwing up.
He was throwing up back to back. Like, he would not stop. And he was 16 months old. So he was very, very, very little. And I was terrified. I didn't have postpartum depression, but I had anxiety. Like, after having him, my anxiety was very heightened. So I did have postpartum anxiety. I was working on it. Like, I had been okay. But I was just like, no, something is not, no. So I called Kendrick, and then I called my mom, and I called Kendrick's mom, and I'm like, I have a feeling I need to take him to the hospital. Like, I need to take him to the hospital. So I did, and thank God I did, because we caught him before he went to DKA, which is what happens when your blood sugar is too high for too long and you create ketones, which is when you pee out extra sugar. Caught it before he went to DKA, which doesn't happen a lot. He was in the high 300s, and some people go in the 800s and higher, which is very, 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 very dangerous. And we caught it because I just had a feeling. I just knew it. I was just like, we need to take him in. I did not think it was type 1, but I just had a feeling, and I'm so grateful to God that I listened to my gut. Moms, dads, caregivers, everyone, listen to your gut whenever. And I'm getting chills thinking about it. I'm literally like shivering. But I just am so glad I did that. And we were in the hospital for 4 days. We got our training. We learned what we needed to learn. Shout out to Angie. She was a part of our endocrinology team, and she taught us like everything we needed to know. She had us leave the hospital with his Dexcom, and when he was so little, it took up his whole arm. Now he's so much bigger, so it doesn't take up his whole arm, but he could not get on the pump until he was 2, because you can't get on the Omnipod pump until you're 2. So we gave him shots with the Humalog pens, and then we had to give him long-lasting insulin as well every night. And so that's how we managed it, and we taught ourselves, and we got used to it. And like I said, we were so scared in the beginning because that was our baby. He was 16 months old, but we did what we needed to do to make sure he had the best care and what he needed to be healthy and strong, and he is. And I'm just so grateful looking back that I listened to my gut and I took him in, and
it could have looked like, for anybody out there, like a stomach bug. You don't know. Some people have experiences in different ways, but he was peeing a lot.
He was a baby, so it's like that's what's also very difficult is when you're
peeing a lot.
Yeah, but he was a baby, so he was filling diapers.
Yeah.
But for people out there, if you don't know symptoms, it's excessive drinking, water. It's peeing a lot, like a lot. I'm tired, throwing up, which that could be an indicator of DKA. So that is when you really fatigue. That's really when you need to get in there and get. I don't understand why they don't finger prick at annual appointments. They need to do that because that could save so many lives. So start doing that, people, doctors out there. Like, it can save so much. It really can. It's a simple finger prick, and anyone can get it at any age. Your pancreas just stops working. If you were born with a gene, like, it's not even just genes. There's so much that could go into it, but it's just finger prick. I now prick myself often, okay? Because I could still get it at my big age of 26. Learn how to finger prick on ourselves. He does not. Israel knows how to finger prick himself. He's 3.5. Okay, he literally does it himself, and he knows already, and he does not flinch. He's used to needles. Like, that's not something I wish I had to say, but I'm so incredibly proud of him, just for how strong. Israel, if you're watching this, I'm so proud of you, and mommy and daddy love you so much. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful for you. Blood sugar, let's check it. Oh, I also checked the app about 7,000 times. Oh, 103 sideways. Perfect. I also check the app about 7,000 times a day. It's just naturally what I go and click on. And we have the follow app, so we can see his numbers at any time when he's in Wi-Fi. And then when he's with us, we say his phone. He don't have a phone, but it's the phone that needs to be with him at all times. So, like, it is his phone, but, like, I'm saying, like, he can't use it for other stuff. It's just for his Dexcom. But yeah, naturally, type 1 parents, you just click in the app about 7,000 times just to check. You'll literally exit out and then click it again by accident. Like, it's just, but it's good because we always want to know what his numbers are. And like Kendrick said before, it's never going to be in a straight line, but we obviously try to keep it in range majority of the time. But sometimes, guess what? A spike might happen, but it's going to come back down. We're going to bring it back down. And if he drops, we're going to bring it back up in the range, okay? So we got that down, okay? Some days pumps want to be stupid. Sometimes the heat. Also, it's not just food that be making, no. Heat, okay? Heat is the biggest culprit right now, okay? His blood sugar be spiking with the heat. So keep hydrated. That helps him stay nice and range. When he's sick, that's a nightmare, okay? Because that's when ketones come into play. And we got to give him you would think avoid carbs. No, it's the opposite. Got to give him some carbs, some water, some insulin. And the hardest thing is when he has a stomach bug, okay? He just vomited all over our couch a few weeks ago. That was
right,
really,
what you said.
That was really fun. No, it was a little over. But it's okay. He ended up being okay. But some ear infections, thanks to the germs from school. Shout out to you. We handled it. We got rid of them ketones, but I actually almost went into a panic attack because that was the first time since he was in the hospital that he had high ketones. And I had to really just give him water, but he wasn't keeping it down. I had to give him carbs. He wasn't trying to keep it down because he was throwing up. It was a fight, but we got through it. And that's what be real rough when he's sick, but we get through it every time, okay?
This is what we wanted to bring to y'all. We want you guys to continue to look for other resources, challenge you guys to do that. We're continuing to challenge ourselves to look at other things as well.
Look out for signs, please. If you feel like you're feeling any type of signs, literally go to CVS, get a finger pricker, prick your finger. It don't hurt. Our 3.5-year-old can do it himself. You can do it. Prick yourself. Check your blood sugar. My little sister Asia, she does not like getting her finger pricked, but I make her do it too. You also can get tested for a gene to see if you were born with it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it with our future children. Genetic testing, it can help a lot. Okay?
But
what you trying to say?
But
so rude.
We're not PDAing on this video.
Why not?
So don't subscribe to us if we trash. Leave some honest feedback. I keep telling y'all.
Stop saying
I done sang to y'all for 4 YouTube videos. I ain't hit a note tonight because I ain't hear no feedback about it. If y'all want me to keep hitting that note, that YouTube, I just slid one in. But if y'all want me to keep hitting that note, I need a comment saying, "Yo, Ken, I heard the note, brother. Keep going." I need that, or it's getting cut.
Wait, did you say what type 2 diabetes is? Because
this is about type 1. We didn't say we explained
right.
type 1 and type 2 tonight.
Exactly. Y'all
I said, what's the difference? You went on a ramble.
Y'all just need to know the difference, okay? Because my son wasn't even eating food when he was diagnosed, okay? That for one. Second, yeah, I'm not even going to keep going because Kendrick going to get annoyed at me and I'm tired, okay? Love y'all, bye.
All right, family. Deuces.